What's up, my name is Rich. Welcome back to another video. In this video right here, we're going to talk about direct-to-film printing. So what is direct-to-film printing? Basically, it's almost like direct-to-garment. I may be wrong, but listen, from what I've seen and what I've read and what I've researched, it's kind of similar. You're using a similar type of printer, you're printing it onto a PET film, PET film, and from there you have wet ink on the film, and then an adhesive powder goes onto the ink, and from there it needs to be heated up to cure, and from there you can transfer it onto a t-shirt. So in a sense, it's practically what SupaColor is, because it is. I really don't know what SupaColor's process is. I'm pretty sure it's almost the same, but not exactly. I'm pretty sure they made a few additional steps that they're going to keep behind doors, but this is great stuff. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because the homie staying at T-Shirt Side Hustle has been talking about it. And I've done a little bit of research on it because, of course, when I first came across SupaColor, I was like, how is this done, right? And I was like, I want the printer. I don't really want the transfers. That's what I thought at first. So I dug into it. I looked into it. Practically anybody who's pretty much doing it right now on a grassroots level is pretty much using a do-it-yourself direct-to-garment printer. Basically taking like an Epson inkjet printer and converting it into a direct-to-film printer. Now I think the inks are slightly different, but you still have the same issues as you would with a direct-to-garment printer. So basically, if you're looking into getting into direct-to-film, you're basically looking into getting into direct-to-garment printing, because anybody who wants to get into direct-to-garment printing as well and don't necessarily have the funds to purchase a printer from like a Brother or an Epson usually starts with a DIY do-it-yourself printer, and that's the same case when it comes to direct-to-film. However, you could purchase a direct-to-garment printer from Epson or Brother and then use the direct-to-film printer ink. I'm not sure if it's that simple, but why do that whenever that printer is not made for that? And the reason why I didn't get into direct-to-film printing is because there's no company like Epson or Brother who's going to have that type of customer support whenever some issues go wrong. Any type of printer that's made for directive filming on a grassroots level right now that's out is pretty much, you know, like a home-based Epson printer, inkjet printer that's converted for a direct-to-film printer. Now, if some issues were to occur, I'm not saying whoever's selling it right now doesn't have that type of customer support, but it's not going to be like on a high-tier customer support level, such as Epson or Brother, in regards to how they sell their DTG printers. So that is one of the main reasons why I didn't get into it. And another issue with that, with DIY printers, is you have to be pretty handy. Not saying I'm not handy, but you're going to have to be hands-on quite a bit when something goes wrong. And I hate having to deal with things like that. I hate having to have a headache for absolute no reason, even if I didn't do something wrong, because these printers aren't exactly built for this process. You know, it's converted. And I'm not trying to knock anybody who's converting printers and selling them right now. If you're doing that, that's great. I respect you, and I'm pretty sure you know what you're doing. But the issue with that is scaling. And for somebody who's converting printers and selling them as direct-to-film printers, they're pretty much just starting off, even though they've probably done it in the DTG world already as well, converting those printers and selling it. It's probably the same people doing it, but the issue with is just like scaling that type of company and backing every single product with every single customer without having a ridiculous amount of capital to back it. It's going to be hard to have the right customer support when you need it every time you send an email or every time you give a phone call. And I mean no disrespect by saying that. That's just honestly the way it is. You pay for what you get. So for myself, if I was going to get into direct-to-film, I would rather purchase something a little more expensive from a reputable company. Anyways, of course, you could always go on Alibaba.com and purchase some from there as well. They have the exact printers that I was looking into. It'll print it straight out of the printer. It goes onto a little roller. Got the powder going onto there. Cures it all in once, rolls it up, and then all of a sudden you got a whole bunch of transfers. That's exactly what I wanted, but the problem is most of it is from overseas, different language. That language barrier is already going to be the first issue with customer support. It's not necessarily going to be a real company who's going to back you the entire time. The only time they'll probably back you is you're making huge equipment purchases from them, and you have to build a relationship with them, which is pretty hard to do on our level, especially on my level. I don't have millions of dollars worth of capital to dispose on research and development, and that's exactly why I rather just order from SupaColor. And listen, I am in no way affiliated with SupaColor. I don't get paid to make ads for them. When I make videos, and this is getting slightly off topic, but when I make videos, it's directly what I want to make videos on. I do get a little bit of a kickback whenever you use the heat transfer warehouse link if you guys purchase SupaColor, but when I make videos, it's on exactly what I want. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I turn down $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 worth of ads for the channel all the time. And not necessarily because I want to, but it's just because majority of the time is products that I really don't know. I haven't touched it, or it's something I don't really care too much for. And that doesn't go for everything. I know there's other companies who reach out and I just haven't got a chance to touch their product. But a lot of times if I don't like a product, I'm not going to shout it out on the channel. So one of the more recent ones, I just want to let you know, I turned down like $2-3 grand for a 30-second ad. And I've done this multiple times because if I was here to make money, I really wouldn't be here. I'd just be busy selling t-shirts. You probably would have never seen me. But this is my creative outlet. And when I make content, it's solely because it's either something I like or it's something I came across of. And I just felt like recording it. So I just want to let you know, when I said I'd rather just purchase from SupaColor, that's no knock at anybody. It's just because it's easier for me. I'm ready to make a t-shirt as soon as I get the transfer. You know, I can knock out the entire process of not having to make a transfer. And the majority of the reason of me saying that is because most of the people that I've seen who has a direct-to-film printer are in the business of selling transfers or selling a whole bunch of t-shirts of not for their brand or something like that, you know? They're in the business of just selling t-shirts for somebody else. As of right now, I'm trying to transition away from that phase. I don't always just want to print generic t-shirts or t-shirts for somebody else to make money. But that's why I have the Uninet printer for it. I use that for generic t-shirts. That's why I use something like SupaColor when it comes to a brand. Or, I mean, of course you can use that direct-to-film printer because the quality of it is amazing. You got to say that for sure. I can't believe I didn't even say that from the beginning. The quality of direct-to-film is pretty awesome. That's the whole thing about it. That's the whole new craze behind direct-to-film. You can stretch it. The print quality is just excellent. It lasts for like up to 50 washes. The print quality is amazing. That's another thing too, between SupaColor and like a DIY printer. DIY printer, you're only going to get X amount of resolution. When it comes to SupaColor, I'm pretty sure they're using some expensive printer to begin with before it even turns into a transfer. So that's why the quality is higher. So not knocking direct-to-film one bit. And I don't know if there's some kind of educational video. It's just really my thoughts on direct-to-film. But direct-to-film is amazing. I just don't plan on getting into the direct-to-film printing process unless some kind of higher tier company decides to start selling the machines itself along with the roller, along with the powder that goes onto it. I've also heard, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, the powders aren't the safest things for you to breathe in once it cures and whatnot. So going to want to have a nice ventilated space when it comes to creating the transfers as well if you have a direct-to-film printer. So of course this video is all over the place. You know, it's my thoughts on it and my thoughts is all over the place. But one other thing as well, when it comes to direct-to-film, and if you're comparing it to direct-to-garment, you don't have to worry about the pre-treatment process, which is pretty expensive as well. The pre-treatment ink, the little white adhesive that goes onto the garment before you print a t-shirt, can be pretty pricey. I've done direct-to-garment, and I can let you know one thing. You don't want to waste that stuff as well. So you don't have to use that when it comes to direct-to-film, and I believe it even uses less ink whenever you're printing the transfer. You don't have to use as much ink because it's not going directly onto the garment to begin with. So that's another thing about direct-to-film. And one other thing, I'm not too sure, but I'm guessing you don't need the white underbase because you're putting the adhesive instead. When it comes to direct-to-garment printing, DTG printing on a dark garment, you have to lay down the white ink first. So it is cheaper for direct-to-film printing, I am sure. But getting the right printer to begin with, that can be a tricky thing. You can probably find one that's a DIY printer and whatnot. I'm sure you can. And you could probably find one from overseas as well. I'm sure you can. But it really boils down to the type of customer support you're going to receive. And once you get the printer and say you do get going, you're really going to have to identify your business model and what you want to do with the printer. Are you going to be in the business of making transfers or making t-shirts? You know, if you're in the business of making transfers, it's going to be hard to compete with something like SupaColor. Like Stan said himself, you're going to have to find somebody like him who's going to blast your product all over the place. And the only thing is, when it comes to running a business like that, you're going to have to be ready. Because if business gets sent your way, Say if somebody did like a product, got blasted all over the place, you got to be ready for the business that's about to come. Customer support that's going to come. You know, do you have the infrastructure to take on that type of business? And to be honest, all of that takes some good capital to get going. So that's my thoughts on direct-to-film printing. It'll probably be my only video on DTF printing, but you know, I just wanted to get all that out there. And I do have, this is an FM Expressions full color sheet. This is what it looks like from them. So I want to show you. So this is a full color print from FM Expressions. You can stretch it and whatnot. Well, it's not even really stretchable. It's just like one thick sheet. It doesn't feel as bad as like a Uninet print where it feels all papery. But if you look pretty close, it's kind of hard to see on camera. Check out the yellow part. You can kind of see the print lines as well as the green part. You can see the print lines where it comes from a printer. And of course, you know, I sent like a high quality image. Let's see, you can probably see right there in that green. You can pretty much see like where the printer is printing this image. And also, if you check out like the borders of this, you can see like a black border. If we're looking right here at this leaf. Same as the text. And this has been washed a few times as well. So it's lasting, but it's not one of those things I can explain on camera. Quality is not as good as something like this. Alright, this is SupaColor. If I get close, you really can't see the print lines. It's just like a solid blue. The lines that you're seeing is pretty much the texture of the garment. If you look at the sand color of the garment, that's pretty much what you're seeing through the color itself. And this has been washed a few times as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And don't forget, if you want to support the channel, go to onlyninjas.com. Buy a hoodie or t-shirt. There's only a few days left for the first giveaway, which is a heat press and a Cameo vinyl cutter. So every single dollar you spend at onlyninjas.com is an entry into the giveaway. And there's only a few days left to join this first giveaway. And I appreciate anybody and everybody who's been joining this first giveaway, because really it's just my way of trying to give back. In the end, you get pretty much some kind of fresh gear to represent the channel, your support. And not only that, every month I'm trying to help somebody, you know, start their own t-shirt business, start whatever business it is. The next month, I think we're going to try and give away a laptop, MacBook, along with all of that. Not too sure yet, because the new MacBooks that came out with the M1 chip, they don't work with label printers. And I've even Googled it, tried to fix it. Still haven't found the right solution. Bought a roller printer. It worked once, and I thought it was working, but then it didn't work. Anyways, if you like this video, if you're okay with these types of videos, let me know. Hit the thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe. See you next time.
Hey Hustle Ninja, thanks for watching. Remember, if you want to support the channel and have the chance to win a giveaway to help your clothing brand, be sure to check out onlyninjas.com. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And stay hustling.